Hi, this is CJ Whitlock with Whittle & Shack, and today we're going to talk about relief carving, and I'm going to give you our top 10 beginner hints for this new hobby of yours. So the first, number one hint is we clamp the board to the bench, and the bench is belly button height. That keep not too much bending over, saves your back, and it's easier to stand when you're doing relief carving. So, or 2 inches below your elbow, ends up being about the same. So belly button height is the first one. Second thing is we use full-size tools. And then we keep the blades facing in. I tell people in classes, in the old school classes, sometimes when people would have the tools around here like this, and the old master teacher would come around and you'd hear this slam down. That means somebody had their tools out of order. So, and you'll see me break all of these rules at least once here in this video. So have the tools facing you. Full-size tools, much easier to be able to control, and you want to be able to carve left and right-handed, and beginners can do that from the go. It's not difficult switching hands at all. The grain is running left to right. This is basswood, 1 inch thick, about 8 inches wide, 5 inches. We're just going to do some sample, get you those hints to you. Next, the tools. What tools do we use? A basic set of full-size tools. These are Stubai from Austria. And a basic 5-piece set should include 1 V-tool in varying degrees of gouges, from a 3, 5, 9, 11. 11 is a complete U. A 3 is kind of shallow. 5 is in the middle. So gouges from 3 to 11, just vary the widths. I have a wide 5, a narrow 5, a deep 9, a real deep 11, and a V-tool. So 5-piece set. The other thing, support carving shops. Carvers, don't shop on Amazon for these kinds of things, or websites. Go to carving shops to buy tools, especially our site, whittleandshack.com. All right, looks like number 5. We use a V-tool to outline. So I'll show you what we mean. Some people use a knife. Excuse me. Some people will use a knife because it's easier, handier. But what happens is you scar the background. Going like this might be just fine, but in marking guiding your tool with a V-tool first, I've never seen that make a difference. But when you're carving with the grain, the blade is so thin, it'll go down, cut, create a mark back there that you can't fix. So we use a trusty old V-tool. So this is a circular pattern. This is a high point. This is a high point. So I actually want to save my pattern. So this is what I'm carving this in here. So this is waste wood. This is good wood. So I will actually carve this circle at the directions of these arrows. Now, this is where learning left and right would be handy. So I'm going to carve this side to here, going with the grain this way. Go stop, and then same thing on this side. To do the other side, you'd switch hands. And then this also. So I could carve and save my the cuts going to the waste wood. Now we use a flatter tool. So we outline with a V-tool. We'll use a flatter tool to take away the background. And I'm just carving with the grain, light pressure into Now, if I had more time, or if I took more time, I would remove all the background. General rule is about half the thickness of your board would be your lowest level. So we could take all this back down there to make use of the full wood. But for this, I'm just going to be doing this. All right, next. Number 7, we use a round mallet. A round mallet, not the square carpenters. And the reason we do is because I don't have to barely look. Anywhere I hit on that tool, it's pretty much the center of gravity is going to produce the force. So it's very easy to carve a nice circle with tap of the mallet, wooden mallet, Now, what you also notice is I think this is number 8, making circles with the number 9. The number 9, this one you can tell, the wings are back, the bottom edge lead. We call it bottom edge lead or nose tools. Look at what it did. It just did a complete perfect circle. And that's on purpose because I can come around and easily create buttons, grapes. I could do a cluster of grapes. I could do floral. If I had panels in a cabinets or something, I could do a grape design or a floral design, all the same by using the same tool. So don't be afraid to use your tools upside down. And that's why some of these deeper gouges are carved, are sharpened with the bottom edge lead. All right, what are we on? Number 9. Okay, I got a little ahead of myself here. This design, it's a little bigger than I normally do. This design is something that we do for a lot of our beginner classes. It teaches the grain, teaches how to create circles. So this is just a flower pattern. So now I'm just using a V tool to separate the petals. Next, I'll give some shape or overlap the petals. Maybe this one's over this one, this one's over this one, that sort of thing. You can do your layering. Oh, it's also another hint. It's also better to blow your chips away as opposed to rubbing, which I do quite often. So that's the one that I'll break pretty often. Now we're going to take, I'm going to use the larger number 5. Now I'm using it upside down. You can use them upside down. And I'm just separating. The other benefit of a mallet is when I'm malleting, I know that tap is going to be just about the same depth as that tap. So it's also a nice control device as well. So if you said, I need to carve this line and stop right here, try to do that by hand, okay? All right, it just broke, went through. But with a mallet, I can get right up to that line. Okay, now I separated some of those petals there. This is called a tool-specific flower, where I'm using the tools to dictate the design. So I'm gonna put a little decorative on the, this is much larger than I normally do, but you get the idea. Okay, this was number 9 here. Is all you want to carve all surfaces of the wood. You won't want to leave some of this uncarved. This is sanded from the shop. So you want to carve all surfaces of the wood. So this is where I can give some surfacing. I can carve this. Some of the petals go down. Once again, I got my layering, but I want to carve all surfaces of the wood. On this one, I'll use this one just to give a little more depth to the middle section. Now I'm even going to carve the middle of the flower with the same flatter number 5. And you can see some of the other videos that we've done where we explain the numbering system. But this is a basic little floral design that you can use anywhere. There you go. In the middle of those chips. And there you go. Now you can add a stem. You could add leaves. You could add another flower. But to get you the general idea. And the 10th rule is have fun. With relief carving, a few simple tools. Make sure they're sharp. But you could do signs anytime, right away. Just a couple tools. You could do signs, lettering with a V, a couple gouges for lowering the background, put some texture. You can do signs. Plaques, wall hangings, fireplace mantles, doors, furniture, you name it, you can do it. You can also rough out your smaller items, your little figures and things, your palm tool carve, hand tool carves. You can first rough them out with these to get a lot of the work done and then go in with the details. If you do that, you want to add, have a little bit of a extra wood on the bottom of the blank so that you could put a screw up and then have that fastened down so that you always can have 2 hands on the tool to be able to rough that down. So remember, relief carving is a great hobby. If you have any questions, contact us at woodlandshack.com.